for some of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back, welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully, you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. I am delighted to be back, and we're going to talk once again, about the Miami Mall incident of January 1st, 2024. Now, there's been some new information that's come to light, some more statements by eyewitnesses that have come out recently. And we're going to talk about the lack of evidence, lack of body cam footage, lack of video footage, both within inside the mall and outside of the mall, despite having 123 police cars and officers being on the scene. No body cam footage has been released, and no inside of the mall footage has been released. We'll talk about what kind of aliens were seen, who reported them, and even my call to Miami-Dade's police department. Not that I'm going to post it, but I'm just going to talk about it, and we'll go from there. So today, let's get into it. So I wanted to look up and just see what ChatGPT had information on about this and see what kind of articles there were out at the time. So AI is good for something, but not that I couldn't have looked it up with Google. But, of course, ChatGPT is going to say there was a large disturbance on New Year's Day, January 1st, 2024, at the Bayside Marketplace, an open-air shopping area. Now, to me, it's weird, right? Because in the footage that we have, it looks like a regular mall. The limited footage that we have, right? There's only a few video pieces that we even have, supposedly, that were inside the mall. But they say, according to this, it's an open-air shopping area in Miami, Florida, involving a large crowd of teenagers fighting and setting off fireworks. They said there was up to 50 teenagers fighting and rioting, causing damage to stores. And the officers that were on the scene actually stated that they couldn't get a handle on it. So they had to call a citywide call, which basically allows all of the police officers that are available to come to the one location where these officers are having a problem, and that was the Bayside Mall. So multiple arrests were made, they say, and nearby roads were temporarily closed due to safety concerns. This Bayside Marketplace is a popular downtown Miami shopping and entertainment complex. Now, before we get into our lack of belief of this of the statements of the police department, I did want to pull up something because I thought it was kind of interesting. I was looking up online what the police department actually said and what, if anything, was available, right? Because there's just not a lot of information available. So I will pull this up here for you. Give me uno momento, por favor, and we will pull up what the Miami Police Department said about their fireworks during that time, because that's exactly what they say. They say that there was no aliens, that it was just a bunch of kids playing. I guess I shouldn't call it playing, right? It's not playing if you're shooting fireworks off at people. But that's what they say. So we'll go along with them. Now, right around that time, I was so interested. I actually did end up calling the Miami-Dade Police Department and find out what the hell happened. See if anybody would say anything. Unfortunately, it was a sergeant, and he was like, yeah, he kind of laughed it off, and he's like, yeah, unfortunately, I can't really say much about it, but, I don't know much about the aliens. I don't know anything about, any 10-foot tall aliens, unfortunately. But Miami Mall, statement. So I continued to do more research, right? I'm like, I want to get some more detailed info about what's going on, what happened, and so on. So there's video. There's video that I'm looking at right now, and it has people running. It has lights coming down from the ceiling. This looks like an actual mall, And what frustrates me is that if this Miami Mall is a fully outdoor entertainment area, then it kind of becomes a problem. Now, outdoor malls have indoor facilities and restaurants and so on and so forth. So just because it's an outdoor mall doesn't mean you can't have a store that has lights coming down from the top of it, right? Definitely can. So, like, you could go into a California pizza kitchen, you can go into restaurants, you can go into places that have inside seating, right? It's Miami. You got to have inside something because it's hot as shit down there, right? So, there's a bunch of stores. It's not like your typical mall where you go inside, it's all enclosed, according to this report. So, that's what I just wanted to say, straight up and straightforward, because I was thinking, oh, it's just like a fully encapsulated mall. And apparently, reportedly, it's not. Now, let's go back here while I'm looking that up. Where did the alien rumors come from? Soon after this happened, videos and photos from the scene circulated on social media. Even the news stations that were reporting on this stated that there were people saying that who were in the mall, eyewitnesses stating that there were aliens. The news reported this. Now, I don't know if they jumped a gun. I mean, there's a lot of information swirling around, but the news actually reported it down in Miami as well. That they saw 8 to 10 foot tall creatures, shadow aliens. There is a new report out as well that talks about 30 men that were escorting out one of these beings, all dressed in black, all looking the same. And I'll pull that up as well so you can see that. But the post went viral. The post went viral all across Twitter, all across TikTok, Instagram, out of the conspiracy claims that the extraterrestrials were 9 to 10 feet tall, were spotted, and authorities were covering it up. So let's talk about the multiple different videos that came out and who was coming out. So everybody heard about this guy called Fitz, right? This guy called Fitz came out and said that he was there with his nephew and with his family, and he said that they saw uh, these 9 to 10 foot tall blacked out aliens, but that they were glitching in and out of the universe, or I don't know, our dimension or whatever. About the Miami Mall aliens. So he had a pretty detailed encounter. Um, I wanted to see if he retracted his statement, because I feel like he did, because they called it a fake later on. But I'll pull this up here for you. So, yeah, okay. Social media posts claim about Fitz. So some online posts refer to a person called Fitz, possibly a TikTok. He was on TikTok. That's where I saw him, originally. The Reddit reports state that this Fitz person did post some videos claiming to have some proof. I didn't see any of his videos. I just saw that he reported on a video, like about what happened, but he didn't have any actual video. He said he became well or stopped posting afterwards and has since disappeared from the platform, leading viewers to speculate about censorship, backlash, or backtracking. Other commenters suggested that a lot of alien related clips around the account were AI generated or misleading, and that the disappearance could have been just social media strategy. I don't believe that at all. And so I'm gonna do a standard Google search. Just want to look this up. So his story was super believable. I mean, the way he reported it was super believable. And then it looks like later on he comes out and says the video was a fake film project, not a real manhunt, and apologizes for any misunderstanding. um, I don't know. Maybe he faked a manhunt was going on for him or something like that. But yeah, his story is pretty I mean, I think a lot of people felt like it was pretty legit. If you've ever spent, yeah, this is interesting. There's a lot of people. Oh, there's a lot of comments deleted out of this. Interesting. Wow. Why is there so much deleted stuff? Okay, that's crap. Um, so it looks like there's a lot of deleted information about this thread about what happened to Fitz. And when you go on and look for any information, it looks like there's a lot of deleted info. There's a lot of links that say, hey, what happened to Fitz? And when you click on them, they're all deleted out. What the heck, man? There's some cover up going on, it looks like here. Um, okay, so Fitz is in the wind. I don't know. Maybe there was some whacking going on there. I don't know, but he did report that he was there with his nephew and his brother and, like, I don't know, some other of his family, but that there was a bunch of people screaming. He turned around, he saw that there was, some crazy shit going on, and what looked like three tall, glitching in and out of this universe, black aliens, 9 to 10 feet tall. So he said that when they were moving, it looked like they were glitching as they were walking, like they weren't quite fully into this realm of reality. And he continued to describe them, and he said that when they ran outside, they had to get outside so that they could do what they needed to do, go home and get the hell out of there, right? So that's what they did. They ran out to their car, went home because they had their nephew. They had to keep him safe, and then he made that video. Now, here's the thing: there's so much. There's only so much you can do. If you're Fitz, do you turn around and just like take camera shots? No, because you're getting compiled by all of these people running your way. You're like, holy shit, what's going on? You're gonna run too. Plus, you have to protect your nephew. So, who's a kid, right? So you got to run or at least protect him. You're not going to take out your phone. Now, if it was kids just shooting fireworks and shit, people aren't going to just book it and run. They're going to walk away, okay? I've seen massive videos of kids like doing all kinds of shit in malls and fighting and stuff like that. And when people see it, they don't just like start running. They just start walking away from the area. Seriously, I have never seen a video where people are running. But in these videos, you see people running out of the mall. Now, you could, if there were fireworks, you could consider that to maybe be gunshots, or misconstrue it to be gunshots, and that might be a possibility. But at the same time, I mean, fireworks, if they're like Roman candles and stuff like that, they're not going to sound like gunshots. The only way it's going to sound like gunshots is if you have something like black cats, or something like that. Like the little mini fireworks. Those will sound like gunshots, like in rapid succession. But an M80 is going to sound like a grenade, so that's not going to sound like a gunshot. So you have a lot. You have some very specific fireworks that you would have to use for it to sound like a gunshot to make people run like that. Um, so anyway, yeah. So you might have people run if there's gunshots. That's what you might have. You're not going to have people running if it's like a fight. So that being said, if that's true, all these stores, I'll tell you because I've worked in retail before, all these stores got cameras. All of them. All malls have cameras. All of them. Because there's security in a security office watching them. So if you have so many people concerned about the fact that this was an alien encounter or alien invasion, why don't you put the public at ease and show off the fact that it is not an alien invasion? Show off the fact that there's just some fireworks going off. Show off you don't have to if they're too young to be on camera because they're committing crimes, which is total bullshit in my opinion. If you're doing crime, you got to do the time. But if you don't want to show them, just show the fireworks going off and show the fact that it is the mall. So you can show fireworks going off and show that it is the actual Bayside Mall, right? Right. So that's all you need to do. Plus, the cameras aren't even going to be able to capture people's faces probably anyway. It's going to be too far away. So, and don't we want to catch these criminals anyway? These people are terrorizing the people that are just parishioners of the area. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. They should all go to jail, at least for a night. Scare them a little bit. So you have no body camera footage that was left out. You have this really nice police officer that said, hey, there's no alien invasion, and he has a little alien in the video camera. Just like when the Phoenix lights went off and they brought out an alien on stage and said, this is the guy that's responsible. They try to make it funny and they try to laugh it off, but it's not funny. It's not funny. It's not a joke. It's serious. And people really felt like they saw something. Now there's a video of a portal that was opening up. We saw that. There was a video of towards the right side of the video, you could see a tall entity. So 95% of the shot you see people, but at the far right you see this tall entity. So they might have captured it right there on that particular event. Now what about other video? Well, there is video from the outside where people believe that they saw a alien walking on the sidewalk and that police officers were trying to direct them to a certain area. Now, upon looking at that video again, it doesn't quite look like it's an alien. It looks like it's a person or maybe two people walking next to each other. Again, God, we could be wrong. Now, it does still seem like overkill to have 123 police officers show up. The other question is, if it was an alien invasion, I don't want to say invasion because it's just three of them. Man, 3 aliens isn't really an invasion. But if it was an alien encounter, why didn't the military show up? Did the military not want to show up just because they wanted to keep it secret? Nobody reported that the military showed up later on either. So there's that. Could this have been a private company trying to work with aliens to get them to transport somewhere and they accidentally ended up in Miami? The reports say that if you flip-flop the longitude and latitude of Miami, that you get somewhere in like Antarctica, and that they might have accidentally got the wrong place. That's possible too. It's not impossible. It's totally possible. So where else do we have? What else do we have? Okay, just wanted to see. This is interesting. I wonder why there's a volume button in the recording session. It better record it. Maybe I'd get pissed if it didn't. But anyway, so let's go back to ChatGPT real quick. I want to see if they had anything that I wanted to bring up before I move on here. ChatGPT, and didn't have anything about fits, of course. But yeah, it says there's fact checkers. I don't believe fact checkers. I'm sorry. I mean, like, because I feel like fact checkers are just the government's way of trying to make people feel good. Okay, so this goes back to the evidence theory, right? If there was a theory that it was gunshots at first, my question was, were there gun shells found at the scene? The only way there wouldn't be gun shells found at the scene, the discarded cartridges, right? Shells is if they were using revolvers. The shells stay in the revolvers after you shoot the bullet, right? So you got the shell in the revolver, and if they didn't empty it, they take that with them, no evidence. But if they're using clips like most people do, there'd be shells all over the place. So there would be evidence of that. Also, if they're using fireworks, there would be evidence of that, right? There'd be cardboard, there'd be gunpowder, there'd be all kinds of shit. Just fireworks leave all kinds of shit behind. The exposed shells, afterwards, if it's like a Roman candle or something like that, if it's M80, you got the cardboard and and the burn marks if it's hit the floor and stuff like that. So there has to be some sort of evidence that this happened. But yet they still haven't shown us shit. Sorry. So why not show us? Why are they keeping it so secret? Why, when I called, did they even keep it secret? Even when I called, they didn't want to talk about it. I get it if it's an ongoing investigation, whatever. But I called like days after the fact, man. I called like at least 10 days after the fact. And they were just like, that's enough time for them they have arrested somebody and yada, 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 right? So they kind of brushed it off, like you would expect them to do. Local news outlets, NBC Miami, CBS, Forbes reported that the police were there for a fight, and that's just kind of the way that they reported it. Situation involving juveniles. Rumors about aliens' invasions were unfounded and not supported by evidence. So, I feel like this is what they want us to think, but not necessarily what actually happened. They state that there are no credible photos or videos of 9 to 10 foot aliens, no physical evidence or official confirmation of non-human beings. But there's also no evidence of what they're talking about. Where's the body cam footage? Where's that? Now, the very last thing I can talk about here is that there should be some sort of personal footage of the people inside the mall during this time. It doesn't even matter if people thought that it was guns going off, because somebody's going to have the cojones to take footage of something, right? So there's no footage of anybody shooting off fireworks. There's no footage of anybody shooting off guns. There's no footage of anybody doing anything. Now, here's the thing, right, is that if there was footage, or I should say, if it went down like the police say, like there was fireworks going off, the kids that are shooting off fireworks would have also had phones. And they would have been doing this for clout, so that they could post it online and say, ha ha, we did this. They don't worry about getting busted because they never think they can get busted. So they would have put it online. Somebody would have put it online. Because the point of the whole thing of shooting off fireworks and stuff is to do what? It's to either make fun, make a joke, or cause terror, or do something else. But they want to have footage of it because that's what teens do. They want footage of it to show to their friends and get clout. Where is that footage? So if you're telling me it is teens that shot off fireworks, then I don't believe you. Because there is no footage of it. Because one of the teens, out of the 50 or maybe even 100 teens, would have been videotaping it. They would have had their camera out, because what do? They want to get clout off of it and get millions of views so they can make some money, or at least clout. Get some props, right? Get some attention. Get some respect, if that's the way they want to look at it, right? So there is none of that. I looked it up. There's nothing. There's no footage from the Miami Mall incident on January 1st, 2024 of anybody shooting off anything. And there should be by now. It's been 2 years plus. Where is it? 2 years plus. If it happened, it should be there. Maybe I should file a FOIA request for any information around January 1st, 2024 Miami Mall incident, Bayside. Because at this point, there is no proof of anything. No proof of anything. Nothing. Just people's testimony. Now, there was a bunch of bullshit, bogus testimony, people saying they were there and they weren't there at all. People were just like making it up. You could see it in their faces. But I feel like with the guy Fitz and with a few other people that were interviewed saying that they were there, by themselves or with a boyfriend or girlfriend, and them saying that this is indeed exactly what they saw, then I would believe that. I believe some of them. There's also a report that somebody saw a briefcase being opened, and during the time when that briefcase was open, it was opened by a few teenagers. I believe it was teenagers, and when they opened it up, that it opened up this portal, and out of this portal came these three entities. The report is that when that portal opened up, it sounded like people breaking glass or breaking light bulbs. Like when you break a light bulb, it makes that real popping sound because there's a bit of pressure in there. That's what they said it sounded like, and that's maybe what people believed, is that it sounded like breaking light bulbs or a shot or a firework. But indeed, it might have been this opening of a portal. There is also the report of 30 men dressed in black that looked exactly the same. Their facial features looked exactly the same, just a slit for a mouth, and they were escorting one of these things to another location, and they were kind of wrestling with this thing to get it to another location. That is the new piece of evidence that has come out recently. So I wanted to share that with you too, because that's the most recent piece of info. Not a lot of new info out there. Now, is that real? Is that true? Is it factual? Do we believe it? Maybe, not necessarily. I mean, it doesn't have to be true. It could be totally bullshit, because there's so much stuff out there, it's hard to believe in anything. But let's see if we can pull this up here real quick for you. Nope, that's Fitz. I wanted to pull up the new Miami Mall witness testimony, because that might help you kind of have a little bit of an idea. Here we go. Let's see if this has the actual picture of it. It's just somebody talking about it the same way I was talking about it. So, anyway, do you think that that's true? Do you think that there's just more and more information out there? I feel like there's a lot of people that did lie and made shit up. It was bullshit. But I also feel like there was a lot of people that their information got blocked out. There was a report by a few individuals stating that when they came out of the mall, a lot of police presence, a lot of police were reportedly checking phones, right? Now, they could have been checking phones if it was 50 kids shooting off fireworks, but they were reportedly checking phones. Now, here's the problem, is that there's still no footage, no video of fireworks. There's no footage of the aliens either. What they do have is the technology to black out information from getting out in a area. So if you have a certain area where you don't want footage to get out, real footage, like somebody can make up a video later, but if you have recorded video footage of like that day, either A, the government can work with Google and say, hey, wipe everything out from today. Any videos anybody's made today, period. Boom. They just get disappeared out of their phone in one location, right? Because, I mean, they just have to geo-map it and block it out. Or they could use a device in that area that could send out a signal to block out and wipe out anything that was recorded that day. So there's a lot of people from that time period that said that they recorded footage and then they went home and that footage was not on their phone and just disappeared. And then there were a few people that said many weeks later the footage showed up on their phone with a different timestamp, different day. So that's something that's really weird and interesting. I mean, let's say you captured something or you didn't capture anything, it doesn't matter. It's still going to have the wrong timestamp on it. So you could say, "Oh, I caught this," but then you can be discredited because it'll say, "Oh, it wasn't January 1st that you caught that. It was January 15th that you caught that." So you're lying, and it's easier for them to discredit you now, right? Lots of ways that they can get around things. All they have to do is manipulate the technology. And the technology is just getting easier and easier to manipulate as we get more and more AI. So you have to keep that in mind too. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little investigative journey down the rabbit hole. What do we know? What's the summary here? The summary is that there's very little footage going either way on this. There's very few witnesses, but there are witnesses that have come forward and talked about it. There's people that have lied about it too. The police force is very tight-lipped on it. Hasn't released much of it, if any. Body camera footage. There's been reports of missing footage from people's phones and then returning later. There's been multiple different strange reports of either a portal opening or just 3 aliens, 9 to 10 foot tall black aliens, glitching in and out of reality. There have been multiple reports of that. There's also been reports of weird distillations of time. We're seeing glitches all over the mall area, just like pixelations all around the area. And there's been reports of what sound like light bulbs popping, people stepping on light bulbs popping, or kind of like an explosion of some sort, but small. And that's what we know. And we know. And what are the facts? The facts are that there was a huge police presence. That's the biggest police presence I've ever seen in any city. I don't care if it's Chicago, L.A., New York. That's the biggest police presence I've ever seen. Ever. So that to me right there just spells that it seems like there was something more going on, you know? But we still would like more proof, all right? It would be nice to have more proof, not just the fact that there was a lot of police there, but we want to see, hey, somebody has footage of this. The problem in this era, even back in 2024, was there was enough AI and technology that you could have made a video be fake and people not believe it. So even if you have legitimate footage, you can run it through an AI processor to see if there is any AI in it, or to see if it's authentic. So that's the one kind of litmus test we do have. And then at that point, maybe we would have real footage. So if anybody's hanging on to any out there and it didn't get deleted, right? That's the biggest problem, is that if it probably got deleted. There's just more technology than us average Joes know about. So, like, every time somebody tries to do something sneaky, or you just took a video of something that, the government doesn't want you to have, there's ways they can get stuff from you, and there's ways that they can obtain it that you don't know about. So, yeah, I mean, it's a technocracy out there. I mean, it's not a diplomacy. It's not a democracy. It's not any of that. It's a technocracy. Those who have the technology own and rule over the rest of us. So just keep that in mind. All right. What do you think? Put your comment in the comments section, please. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Stay positive physically, spiritually, emotionally. Follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. Until next time, guys, take care. Lockdown Universe is out. Peace.